everyone. Welcome to a very exciting episode of GetSetParent with Pallavi. Today we have huge reason to celebrate. After 34 years since 1986, we finally get a brand new education policy that promises not just to cater to the hopes and aspirations of India, but also to meet global standards. Housed within the Ministry of Education, earlier known as the Ministry of Human Resource Development, this policy has a lot of facets to be very excited about. But here are my top picks. 1. The earlier focus on reach and accessibility will now be on quality. The earlier right to education will now be a much deeper right to learning. The GDP investment on education finally will go up from a meager 1.6% to 6%. The NEP 2020 merges Indian values and culture and yet promises to meet the global standards of education. And finally, and most importantly, the policy appears to be learner-centered. It focuses on higher-order thinking skills, critical reasoning, and problem-solving rather than on rote learning, which the Indian education system was criticized for. So we have a lot to be excited about, and of course a lot is going to be depending on the implementation of this entire policy, but nevertheless a journey half begun is well done. Before we get into the much awaited FAQs that all parents of school-going children have, you know what to do. Subscribe to my channel by pressing the subscribe button, like, share, and drop your questions in the comment box below.
I grew up in 10+2 system of education. Want to know that what is new system under NEP and how will it affect my kid?
Yes, the earlier 10+2 system of education gave children 12 years of compulsory formal schooling from the ages of 6 to 18. In the new system now, all children will be eligible to get 15 years of compulsory formal education from the ages of 3 all the way to 18. So let me explain to you how this new structure will work. So at first we have the foundation stage. So the foundation stage will include nursery, KG1, KG2, grade 1 and grade 2. So these 5 years will actually be a play-based method, an activity-based method of learning for children. And what's very interesting is the recommendation of 3 months of a preparatory program for all children entering grade 1. The second stage will be called the preparatory stage. Now this will be from grades 3, 4 and 5 and will include more formal learning and inclusion of other subjects like science, maths, arts, etc. The next comes the middle school level. These would be grades 6, 7 and 8. And what's most interesting here is apart from the inclusion of subjects like humanities and social sciences, there is compulsory vocational education and coding for all children. The final stage will be called the secondary level stage and will include grades 9, 10, 11, 12 in 2 cohorts, 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. These will be 4 years of multidisciplinary programs with greater depth, critical thinking and attention to life aspirations. So as you can see, the entire system has been revamped, and I think the biggest impact is for those students who aspire to study out of the country. They don't have to do a bridge course now because it is a 15-year formal education program.
I've heard that ECCE has been introduced in new education policy. Can you please tell me more about it and how will it be useful to my child?
In my view, one of the most progressive and beautiful aspects of the NEP is the creation of the ECCE, which is the Early Childhood Care and Education. It actually recognizes the fact that the first 8 years of a child's life are indispensable to their growth and development. The new curriculum and pedagogy under the ECCE promises to be play-based, inquiry learning method-based, multifaceted and flexible. There is going to be a framework called the NCPF ECCE set up under the NCERT, and this will actually ensure that all schools across the country, all play schools across the country actually follow the single curriculum set up under this framework. So I think this is a very, very welcome aspect of the NEP.
What is Foundation Literacy and Numeracy? I have heard a lot about it in the New Education Policy, but what should I do as a parent so that my child attains Foundation Literacy and Numeracy by grade 3?
FLN stands for Foundation Literacy and Numeracy, and this will form the basis of all future learning according to the NEP. Those children who are not able to attain mastery in the literacy or numeracy aspects as prescribed by the FLN will actually find it very difficult to cope with the rigor as prescribed for the preparatory and middle school stages. In order to achieve FLN nationwide, there is a national mission for FLN which will be set up by the Ministry of Education, and all states and union territories will be required to implement them as soon as possible. What's also very interesting is that there is going to be a national repository of excellent resources available online called Diksha for knowledge sharing, and also teachers will be continuously trained through professional development programs to learn how to execute this FLN.
There is so much confusion about mother tongue and local language introduced in NEP. Please explain more about it.
The premise being used in this policy is that imparting education in the mother tongue of the child has a lot of positive aspects for overall development and sound understanding of concepts. So, what is actually being proposed is that the medium of instruction for all children under the grade of 5 and preferably under grade 8 should be in the mother tongue or the local language. However, the NEP is also flexible and they are recommending a 3-language formula. These languages can be selected in mutual consultation of the school and the parents. No language will now be called the first language, second language, or third language. All of them will be at the same difficulty level. Another aspect is that Sanskrit will be offered at all levels of school education, and at the secondary stage level, students can also choose from a variety of foreign languages.
The Indian education system has always been known for rote learning and replication of textbook on the answer sheet. Will the new education policy change anything in this?
The NEP 2020 actually aims at moving the education system away from the culture of rote learning and from being heavily content-driven. Rather, it wants to focus on real understanding of the topic, wants to be experiential, holistic, learner-centered, discussion-based, inquiry-based, and enjoyable. What is also very exciting is that from grade 6 onwards, coding will be made compulsory and vocational skills will also be made compulsory. A variety of vocational skills like carpentry, electrical work, metal work, gardening, etc. will be decided by the school based on the local skill requirements of that geography. Students will also have to intern with local vocational establishments as a part of their course. There is also a promise of 10 bagless school days every year. So all of this moves it away from the rote learning culture that the Indian curriculum priorly had.
So now kids don't have to choose between art, science or commerce. What's going to happen now?
Yes, absolutely. Now students do not have to decide whether they want to choose art, science or commerce after grade 10. In fact, in the new education system, rigidity of all sorts has been removed. There will be no separations between arts or science or commerce, between extracurriculars and co-curriculars, arts and sports, vocational and academic streams. There's a beautiful engagement between all of these areas of learning. In fact, unlike the 10+2 system, students in class 9 can actually choose between a variety of subjects like history, physics, economics, music, French, all at the same time. So the idea of this policy is to ensure that a student is not stuck by his choice of subject.
Is there going to be a new curriculum and how will it be different now?
Yes, the entire curriculum and pedagogy is going to be completely revamped by NCERT, and it is going to be based on the outcome-based education methods. In fact, all course content will be reduced to its core essentials to make room and make time for activities based on critical thinking, problem solving, etc. What is very, very exciting is the proposed inclusion of contemporary subjects in the new curriculum like artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, environmental education, organic living, etc.
So what can we expect about the board exams in the future and how will the system change?
Yes, this is the question on everybody's mind. What is going to happen to the examination system? So let me explain it to you very clearly. Grades 3, 5 and 8 will have an examination conducted for them by the appropriate authorities. However, this is only for developmental purposes of the child and for monitoring and to improve the schooling system. Grades 10 and 12 will continue to have board exams, but these exams will be redesigned. A choice with every student will exist to attempt the boards twice and for choosing results as best of 2. A system of annual, semester or modular board exams may also be developed. Exams will be both objective and subjective. However, they will primarily test core capacities and competencies rather than focusing on months of coaching and memorization. The focus will be on all-round development and balancing academics and non-academics. Now let us look at how the report cards will look from now on. It will be a holistic 360-degree multi-dimensional report card which will reflect the progress and uniqueness of each learner. The progress card will include an element of self-assessment, peer assessment and teacher assessment. AI-based software could also be developed and used by students to help track their growth. Parak, a new National Assessment Center will be set up as a standard-setting body for assessments of all types. Children will be scored on wholesome development in multiple domains. There is also the introduction of the National Testing Agency or the NTA, which will work to offer high-quality common aptitude tests as entrance tests for admissions into universities and institutes for higher learning. Dear friends, these were some of the few frequently asked questions regarding the NEP 2020 that I have attempted to answer for you. But like I said, the education policy is exhaustive and I'm sure you have several more doubts or questions in your mind. So what are you waiting for? Drop in the comment section, tell me about the questions that you have. But until then, you know what to do. Like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for a lot more. Thanks so much and take care.